And I would like Nachiketa to throw some light on that.
So, hi everyone. We've had a very enriching session till now, which Siddharth has been moderating fabulously, and we've got a great panel of speakers. And if you look at career progressions of each of these panelists, let me take a very small example of the group that's here. Okay, there is a mix of people who have a tech background, people who don't have a tech background. You'll see people, who are at the start of their career, the middle of their career, and somewhere nearing the top. Let me put it like that. Okay. So this mix is a great mix to be talking to the audience over here. And the panelists gave me to understand that the audience today that we have is also a mix where there are some tech exponents who'd like to make the transition into product, and there is a bunch of people who are starting their career and they would like information on is product the new thing to do. So there is this every 5 years there comes a new cool career to have. So a lot of people feel today product management is a very cool career, which it is. But at least the time that maybe Divi and I would have started our careers, sorry, I sound like a dinosaur right now. Okay. But at that time, there was nothing called product management, to be very honest. People have transitioned from various roles into the field of product management. It has evolved as we speak. So I can see the smile on Divi's face that yes, we are dinosaurs here. So the kind of help that you all have today is not something we had at that point in time. So, it was core competencies of how we define a product manager today that intrinsically existed in us, or else our leadership sort of drilled it into our heads. And I would not take a world view of it right now. I'll take a very personal view of it. So I started at InfoEdge, which is led by Sanjeev and Hitesh. A lot of you would know InfoEdge. And so I did Naukri, I did 99 acres, worked at Zomato for a bit. Okay, then took a little bit of a career break, came back, worked at Metal. Each of these you'll see I've gone one level next with each brand that I have worked. And what I kind of found is now, in hindsight, you may call it wisdom in hindsight, all that information is now available in terms of blogs, people's experiences. So I'll just summarize it for you, in terms of what are my findings. There are more findings available and not limited to the views that I'm sharing with you right now, but this is a very personal journey. What I found was there are 4 pillars on which any product manager can stand. The first one, a lot of people on this panel have spoken about, is customer insight. There is no escaping it. Whether you're starting your career, you're in the middle of your career, or you're at the top, there is no way that you can escape from it. What level you are at and how much customer insight you are able to get is really up to you, and the kind of business that you're doing is different for SaaS, different for PaaS, different for B2B, different for B2C, but no escaping from it at all. The next skill you need to have, which you at the starting must acquire, is product execution. Again, there is no escape. Just get stuff done. And while doing that, please don't burn any bridges. I'm oversimplifying some of these things for you. I can see a few nods as well. Okay, you'll have various stakeholders you'll deal with. You'll have the QA team, you'll have tech team, you'll have senior management to deal with. You may have your peers to deal with. So you have to base your ideas and your execution on very, very solid grounding of data. Make your case as to why. Remove yourself, and you can be passionate, but take a third party view to the problem. Like one of our panelists also pointed, you can't say I'm saying this so do it. It doesn't fly like that. Okay, so you need to have certain frameworks for decision making. Use rice, use Moscow, use whatever it is that works in your organization, any newfangled one that comes in, but ensure it is data driven. It is not person specific. The minute you get personal about it, get attached to an idea, you'll have trouble having it executed.
True.
So when you start your career, execution is a very, very important part of it. If you don't get these competencies right, you will never be able to move to product strategy. So a key mistake that a lot of freshers I see, they say, I want to join product management because I want to do product strategy. Guys, it's a ladder. You can't reach level 5 if you haven't been through level 1, 2, 3, 4, much like a video game. You're not going to start at level 5 or 36, or maybe 256 like Candy Crush, but you have to get there. It's a process. You will evolve with time. It's not a magic pill that you can eat. Harry Potter give you a pill, like one of the Georges, the twins, Fred and George, pill khaya, and you're a PM. It doesn't work like that. You have to go through the grind. You will have to do all the hard work that is involved. So get your product execution right if you're at the bottom of the ladder. Next level of your ladder will be product strategy. There are various definitions of it, and you can read up a lot of books, blogs. There are training institutes available to you now, which maybe Divya and I didn't have at the time that we started. But our training institute was very much on the job. We got yelled at by our customers, by our senior management, and we learned. We were very open to learning. So a PM, there is no way the guy or that woman can shut down their learning skills. So you need to be a lifelong learner, evolve as the market is evolving, and not just the market, even technology. So Shikha gave you a great answer that are you a tech PM or are you not a tech PM? Depends on where you join, what your strength. I'm not an engineer. Okay, I worked for 20 years and I have very high functioning tech teams who I interact with. Okay, so you need to keep up. There is really no escape around it. That said, it is not mandatory to be an engineer, it's an advantage. So the kind of businesses that have fallen in my path, in my career, and been, by destiny, they have been a great fit for me, is where I have worked in digitizing all offline products into online products. So if you look at Naukri, it was digitization of jobs. If you look at 99 Acres, it was digitization of the real estate market. So, fairly relevant to the theme of digitization. Forget about every other digitization. Look at the last 2 years of what has happened to this world. It is nothing but product management. You are dealing with absolute unknown. You have no idea what's going to hit you. Okay. Did anyone predict COVID? No, they had no idea. No business continuity plan ever planned for something like that. Okay. No institute taught you that everything will shut down. What you're going to do. So whether it was education, whether it was essential services, whether it was medicine, so everything is now getting digitized. Education, colleges and schools, few of them figured out, okay, we can do things like online exams. But in the last 2 years, I have personally seen, crazy level of digitization. So simple things like getting food to people who were sick with COVID, getting medicines to them. Had we not digitized, was there not a PM sitting in the center as a hub and spoke for all of this to get delivered? I don't think we'd have the comfort, that we did. It took us some time to figure out as a world, as the nation, maybe as PMs, as businesses, as to, how to survive. But it was just the resilient ones who, did not stop learning, had a will to survive and execute are the ones who made it. So everyone went into execution mode. I've seen CEOs had to get off their high tower and go into execution mode. So guys, don't forget your skills on execution ever. And it's not just that an APM needs it. I think all of us need it at some point to, roll up our sleeves and, get going at it. And the next skill that is there is influencing people. That's my fourth pillar for you. Uh, I don't think anyone in the organization kind of reports to us, but we need all of these partners to come together with us to deliver. Someone even as the HR team or finance team, which has nothing to do with product management. But if you don't take the whole organization with you like a large ship rowing towards the same direction, it's not going to happen. You may need help with hiring. You may need help with retaining people. You may need vendors to get onboarded because you like a certain tool. Okay, you take a build versus buy decision and say, hey, I just have an open source library for this. Why don't I just pick it up instead of building it? Right. Now you need the finance team because they're going to make the payment. You can't pay with your own credit card. So if you don't, have all these, sort of departments working with you in the same direction, in a common vision, it's going to be very difficult. So, for APMs, PMs, AGMs, the responsibility may increase as you go up the ladder, but these skills are absolutely key. I don't think they go away at any point in time. So with these four pillars, if I could just take you through a concept of, something being I-shaped and T-shaped, at the beginning of your career, it's okay to be I-shaped. You gain, all your product specific skills. And later, as you climb up the ladder, okay, different organizations will call you different names, but I'm going to term it as someone who's starting, someone who's middle management, someone who's senior management, and then the CXO suite, which is the CPOs and CTOs and things like that. So by the time you move to the top of the spectrum, you need transferable skills. You'll have to be more T-shaped, more generic. So people starting out, guys, there's no substitute for hard work. Please acquire all the skills that you need. But as you grow more senior, you will need more people skills than the skill of taking everyday decision. So that's something you will grow into. I've
Right.
seen a lot of people who have moved from different departments. Say someone moved from ops, someone moved from tech, someone moved from design, and all these product managers have been trained, um, say in my leadership and with a few other leaders also in our organization. So we don't have a profile for a PM. Each one comes with their skills. Okay, and I've I think one of them has even joined. I looked him up in the list of participants, Nippon. So he's a great tech guy who wanted to move to product. Now they have transferable skills again. Okay, so they learned how to do tech stuff. They are champions at doing design, but then they start asking the right questions, like people in this panel have said. Talk to your customers, understand the real problem that you're solving. So if you get these transferable skills and then move up the ladder, I'm sure you can reach the CPO level, and there's nothing stopping you sort of from getting there. And the other thing that I wanted to explain was that there are different kinds of PMs as well. So don't limit yourself to departments. Forget what background you came from. Once you've become a PM, you started working. You have different kinds of PMs in, say, categories, for example, but not limited to, say, people who do feature oriented work. Okay, there are some PMs who specialize in, say, growth related work. There are some PMs who are great at working on scale. Okay, and there are some who are working, sort of, they love working at getting product market fit much earlier in the game. So when you're starting out, you may not have the luxury of choosing which kind you want to be, but each of these, it has now evolved into a specialization. So you see Ankur's background, it's different. Okay, he's followed a different trajectory. Ankur's had different trajectory from Anurag. Jaideep's different. Yathar's solving problems at Uber. So depending on the kind of business you have options now. So like Giri mentioned, he's working on like a large portfolio of products. Okay. So you have different kinds of PMs who will be doing different kinds of work. You can be good at either of it. You don't have to choose in the beginning of your career. You can choose little later on as well, and then start applying to companies who solve these problems at different curves of where they exist in the product. So I have given you a lot of gyan, but it's all very practical when it comes down to doing stuff. What I'd recommend to the younger audience here is take on projects to really understand if you are up for this game. Once you're in there, it's the hamster's wheel. Take out some time to think about what growth you want, make some goals for yourself, and start working towards them. In the humdrum of life, we tend to lose focus. Let's say, okay, I have these 6 list things, let me just get through it. But sort of air gap yourself from these everyday activities, think about your career, plan, and then execute. So I've seen a lot of people make these progressions. It's really possible. It's been done. It's out there. It's really up to you how you want to take advantage of the situation. And you have this great panel. Feel free to reach out to any of them. I'm sure none of them will say no if someone of you needs help. Yeah, Siddharth. So that kind of sums up my answer. I'm sure I could go on forever, but I think we are limited by the kind of time we have. So yeah, I'll be happy to take questions later.